If you'd like to see more of our videos, hit the subscribe button to stay on top of the market news. Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today is July 31st, 2020, and today is Friday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, Apple, Google, Facebook all beat their earnings, but there's a lot more highlights that we're going to need to cover. So let's take a look at the various markets. So there's no major economic events scheduled for today, but as we go into next week, we've got some major events scheduled. But first, looking at the various markets, starting out with the currencies, the euro surging higher, okay, to 119, just shy of it. The British pound, the Aussie dollar all continue to go higher as well, while the South African rand slumps. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. Looking at the indices, the Dow Jones makes a V formation, selling off wildly down to 25,800 and then bouncing. Now, the NASDAQ is remaining relatively strong in this environment because the tech stocks are showing good earnings. Now, looking at the commodities, we're watching gold struggle to break through that 2,000 while oil dips lower, and those are the stocks that actually led the Dow Jones further down, the energy stocks yesterday. Now, looking at the stocks, we're looking at the FANG stocks having good earnings. That includes Facebook, Apple, and Google, okay, in this environment that we're currently in, despite the pandemic. But there are antitrust hearings proceeding regarding these companies, so something to consider. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're going to take a first look here at the Euro USD at a monthly chart. And the reason I'm doing this, I know it seems irrelevant because it's such a long time frame, but the reason I'm doing this just to bring a point, okay? If we look at the lower limit here, it's 112. The upper limit here as we're trading today is 118.92. For all intents and purposes, that's 19. Altogether, that's a 700 pip move within this week. Unbelievable as we break out higher and higher and higher. Now, we are reaching a little bit of a minor resistance right here at 119. Certainly 120 is going to be a resistance level because it is a round up number, okay? But we haven't had this type of volatility within a week, okay, like we have right now since the debacle of 2014, since we've sold off sharply from there. So really very important to note this because this is amazing volatility, and it seems that the Forex symbols are back into play, okay? So they are things that we want to keep on our front radar as things continue to trade. Now, looking at a 4-hour chart, just to give us a perspective, we've gone up, like I said, 700 points over the past couple of weeks. And what's important to really note here is that we are hitting a bit of a minor resistance-ish area, so something to consider. It may correct itself. If it does, then our previous resistance area becomes our support. So the next real support is 1762, which is about 160 pips further down. Okay, so volatility is there. There'll be multiple opportunities as well. Now, looking at the GBP, same story. Okay, now it's a little bit harder to see this. Let's look at a daily. We're at 131.27 right now, resistance at 133. Okay, so this does have room to go up still. Okay, but if it does break this 133, then guess what? We could go back to where we were 2 years ago when Brexit was actually, in the forefront of 2018, 2017 even, okay? And when we had this massive decline, okay? So this is something that we can considerably have in mind as this makes a further correction on the upside. Now, looking at the Aussie dollar finally breaking that 71.60, okay, breaking it to 72.13, getting much stronger versus the dollar. The next real stop, okay, or resistance level is 73. So keep that in mind. Now, looking at the rand, it failed us. Okay, it was supposed to break further down from 1644. It didn't. So in the interim, it may play catch up, but right now 1644 is a significant support level. Okay, so if it doesn't break it, we will trade between the 1712 and 1644 on the downside. Now, looking at gold, okay, for all intents and purposes, it's taking a break. Okay, it went quite aggressively over the past couple of weeks. Okay, from 1800 up to almost 1900. 100-point move within a couple of weeks is a massive move, okay? But it is consolidating around this area. It does have resistance at 1980-ish level for intents and purposes. We are trading about 8 points, 9 points below that. So keep this in the radar, because if it does break this 1979, we could certainly go higher as well. 1990 to 2000. Okay, now I did call this 2000 by the end of the year, and now we have to revise that, okay, because it is looking more aggressive. Now, looking at oil, this thing got very weak yesterday, trading below $40 a barrel, okay, trading as low as 38.85 yesterday, causing the Dow Jones to sell off quite aggressively. So something to consider, if it does stick below this $40 range, we may see it go back to 35, okay? It's a scary thought. The lockdowns are happening or re-happening right now, okay? So any sort of, break from this pandemic is actually not happening, and it's a very sombering thought. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, we are trading right now at 26,100, getting closer to that support level, which was our previous resistance level. If we do break it, we could certainly see it go further down. Now, from last week to this week, we went from 27,000 down to 25,800-ish level. Unbelievable, okay? With the Fed making its comments about the markets, and with these antitrust hearings happening, the Dow Jones getting much weaker. Now, this was anticipated. The question is where are we going from here? So this support line at 26,178-ish level is very significant. If we do break it, we broke it, but we didn't break it with some momentum to stay underneath it. And if we do see that, then we could certainly go down to the 25,000 area. Now, looking at the NASDAQ, though, it's still relatively strong, unless it's making a triple top here, okay? Which may be the case, okay? But I don't like to short things as they're up on their all-time highs or close to their all-time highs, especially what's going to happen with these antitrust hearings is all on the floor and still very much in the air. Now, looking at Apple, it did surge from its low of 357 up to 384, not close to its all-time highs of about $400 a share. Amazon also above 3,052-ish level right now, but not breaking out higher. Okay, so I really keep this on my forefront to see if this does make an about face, if it's going to make a further correction. Now, Facebook, relatively unchanged, okay, not trading much here and not making much of a wave. So something to consider into today, okay, as we're making this rotation in the markets. Once again, the Forex symbols getting stronger versus the USD, the gold getting stronger as well, and now the markets are shifting, and we're not sure which way these high-tech stocks are going to be going. So something to really keep an eye out is the high-tech stocks to see which way we'll be going. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you a great trading day and a beautiful weekend. Thank you.